Therese here. So I'm done with all the planning for my Korea trip in a few days. So right now I'm gonna fix my luggage and put everything that I need here. But before doing that, I'm gonna share some tips to you guys.
Merry little Christmas.
I decided that I'm gonna share some tips to you guys since it's my third time this year in Korea. So why not share some tips to you guys for your next Korea trip? Before sharing the tips that I have for my experiences, I want to ask you guys if you're gonna travel solo or you're gonna travel with your family or groups or whatsoever. Because if you're a solo traveler, it's better to have a do-it-yourself itinerary because the transportation system in Korea is really good and it's gonna be cheaper for you to do it yourself than to avail some tours and everything. But for groups, especially for big groups, I think it would be better to arrange some tours rather than commuting, because if you sum up the expenses of commuting and how many you guys are, it would probably cost the same. So why not take the tour? The only thing when you're taking a tour is that there are time limits. You can't go on your own pace. So that's it. That's the only thing I don't like when getting a tour, and having the call times, early call times and whatsoever. So that's it. So let's move on with my tips on planning your next Korea trip. So the first thing in my list is to do some research, some extensive research, because there are blogs sharing everything, a detailed itinerary or whatsoever, but you still need to do the research because there are some that has outdated information, there are some with wrong information, so you have to really look at all the details in different blogs, different websites and everything. But the first site I go to is the Korean Tourism Organization because it's the official website of Korea, so why not make it a reference, right? And one thing that I love with Korean Tourism Organization site is that they have itineraries prepared, like 2-day itineraries, team itineraries and everything. That's why it's the first site that I look onto, and then I just move to other sites to research more on the things that are in the Korea Tourism Organization's page. So that's the first thing in my list. The second tip that I'm sharing to you guys is booking your accommodations, because you would probably book your accommodations after booking the plane ticket. So I'm sharing to you guys where I have been booking my accommodations for the past few trips. So I have been booking my accommodations through Agoda. This is not a sponsored post, it's just that I love this feature of Agoda where you click on the map and you would see the hotels that are near the subway station. So it's really convenient, especially when you know the area and you know where the entrance of subways are and where the airport limousine is. So it's really so convenient when you see what's near the place. And that's not the tip that I'm sharing to you guys. The tip that I'm sharing to you guys is where to book, because there are so many areas in Seoul that you can stay at. Actually, I haven't stayed in Myeongdong every time, but I have seen some areas that are better to stay at, like Apgujeong, Hongdae, Anguk, because there are so many tourist spots near the areas. So how do you pick which area you should stay at? I think it would depend on you. One thing you can do to know which area you should stay at is that list every station that you would go to, the tourist spots that you would go to, and which station it would be located in, and see which location you would go to frequently. So that's the area where you should stay. You could also review the subway app of Korea and see which station is the middle of all the locations that you're going to. So that's probably the better way to look for accommodations in Korea. The third tip that I have for you guys is how you would get out of Incheon Airport when you land in Korea. There are many ways of going out of Incheon Airport. The only thing is that it's not 24 hours. The limousine bus is not 24 hours. The trains are not 24 hours. Only taxis that cost a lot are 24 hours. So it's gonna be a struggle for you if you're landing at 10:40 in the evening or 1 a.m. in the morning or whatsoever, because the first limousine bus and the trains would start at 5:30 in the morning and end at past 10 in the evening. But flights coming to Korea, especially from the Philippines, would usually have the time where airport limousines are not there and the train is not working. So the only choice that you have is to hire the taxi that costs really so overcharged. The fourth tip that I have for you guys is to have these apps in your phone before going to Korea. I have 5 apps in my Korea folder there. This is the subway app of Korea, where you can find the map of the subway and you can really search where you would go, what subway station you're looking for to plan your trip or whatsoever. The second app here is the one with a bird and the Korea vlog. This is Korean. This is Korean language. How you would say the greetings, common language, emergency, romance, numbers, eating. Basically, the basic things that you would need to know to talk to Koreans if they don't know how to speak English. The third app in my Korea folder is the Kakao Map, because in my last Korea trip, I was struggling a lot because my Google Maps was not working and the Waze was not. Waze is working in Korea, but we all know that the Waze will show you the directions of the car but not the person walking. I really struggled a lot because Google Maps don't work in Korea, so you have to have your Kakao Map. Actually, this app is in Korean, but if you search for a place in English characters, it will also show the Korean translation. So I just click on it and I'm getting to where I'm going. So it really helped me a lot in my last Korea trip. So I'm not removing the Kakao Map in my top apps that I use. The fourth one that I have is the Kakao Taxi. Here in the Philippines, we have Grab and we used to have Uber, and in Korea, they have Kakao Taxi. It's really nice to have this app even if you're commuting and you're using this bus, the subway and everything, because you never know when you will need it. So just have the Kakao Taxi there. The fifth thing in my apps is the Uber Eats because it's so hard to eat alone when I was in Korea, so it's really convenient to have the Uber Eats. It's like Food Panda or Grab Food here in Philippines, but they have Uber Eats in Korea. And I have another app that is not here in the Korea folder because it's in my Google folder. It's the Google Translate. It really helps a lot even in other countries because when there's no English translation, you can just open the camera in your Google Translate app and it will translate the characters into English characters. So it really is a big help. But there are times when the translation is wrong and it would just confuse you, but it helps you a lot rather than not understanding what's written in something. So that's it for the apps. And now let's move on to the fifth tip. My fifth tip is to buy a SIM or have a pocket Wi-Fi because it's really so convenient to have an internet connection when you're lost, when you want to look for other places that you would go to, or you have finished your itinerary and you want to still go out, and it's easier if you have an internet connection. And it's easy to buy cheaper SIMs, pocket Wi-Fi, now that there is Cloak, KKday, and Trazy, because it's just a click away and you have the voucher and it's easy to redeem, super easy to redeem. You just need to present your voucher and they give you your SIM. So that's it. And my sixth tip, and probably the last tip because I'm gonna make a separate video for my tips when you're already in Korea. This is only the tips in planning your Korea trip, is probably learning the culture before going there, having a recap of how they are when they're eating, how they are when they greet each other, and everything. Because when you're in another country, you don't want to respect the country that you're visiting because you're not a local there. So you should know what they practice, especially in Korea because they have many cultures that are different, especially here in the Philippines and maybe in other countries, because they value and respect so much things. So you have to learn all these things before going to Korea. So that's probably it. I hope this video really helped you plan your Korea trip, and I hope you like this video, subscribe, and hit that bell button. And I hope you watch my next videos in this coming week because I'm going back to Korea. I really love this country. I don't know if it's just because of the K-dramas, but I really love Korea. And we don't know the future. Maybe I would end up in Korea, so let's see.